is being reported by Kevin Weeks and Arthur Staple that Jonathan Quick is set to sign with the New York Rangers upon the July 1st free agency opening. And Quick, grew up a Ranger fan. His idol was Mike Richter. It's been a while since Jonathan Quick has been particularly good. He, of course, the longtime goalie of the Los Angeles Kings, technically a three-time Cup winner, because he was on the Vegas Golden Knights roster this past season, but notably, him winning the Cup in 2012 against the Devils and unfortunately in 2014 against the Rangers. So, for Quick, like I said, it's been a while, honestly, since he's been at top level. I mean, really, I would say 2018 was really his last truly good season. 2022 wasn't terrible. I mean, he was 23, 13, and 9 with a 2.59 goals against average and a 910 save percentage. Not bad. The playoffs, though, he lost in 7 against the Oilers, and he was okay, I guess. I mean, the goals against average isn't great, but you look more to the save percentage, which was 904, which is not anything special, but I guess also not terrible. And he replaces Jaroslav Halak. Now, for Halak, I didn't really have high expectations for him coming off of really a not-so-great season for the Vancouver Canucks the year before. And for Halak, with the Rangers initially, it was really a struggle, a big-time struggle. However, he really turned it around. He was a very, very serviceable backup. And look, that's kind of the magic of Benoit Allaire. Really, arguably one of the best goaltending coaches in the league. Doesn't matter who is fired or hired by the Rangers, he stays. And so he's been around since the Tom Rennie Rangers. Really with Henrik Lundqvist coming in. I mean, they were kind of together for the first time at the same time, and that's continued now. We're getting on, not quite 20 years, but not too far off. So, you got to like that idea of it. But look, Quick, we don't know the financials yet. I'm just going to assume it's going to be a 1-year deal. Probably, I hope it's not much more than $1 million on the cap. The good thing with Quick, which is possible, is that since it'll be a 35-plus contract, you can add some incentives in there, some bonuses. So I'd like to think that that's what this is, right? Because Jaroslav Halak, let me confirm this. I believe it was a $1.5 million hit last year for Yaro. And either he's looking for that amount or more, and the Rangers just can't accommodate that. I think that there had been some mutual interest. And for Halak, it had been a little bit more. 1.5. 1.5 on the nose. So Halak, the Rangers are just so tight cap-wise, and so this is where it lands right now. And so Quick is going to cost less than Halak would have. And so last year, surprisingly, just because he had been a lifelong King, he was drafted in 2005, made his debut briefly in the 07-08 season, and then really from 08-09 onward, I guess 08-09, he had started 41 games, but really was the true starter from 2010 on. The 09-10 season was really the beginning of Jonathan Quick being the guy, and all the way up until recently. Now, but again, he had struggled even before COVID. The struggles began. It was a really bad 18-19 season after he was really brilliant in 17-18. Like, he had a nice, really, really nice. I mean, again, around the same time as Henrik Lundqvist, where Jonathan Quick was very, very just consistent, right? Honestly, from 09 or 10, but really beginning in 2011 up until 18. So really 8 to 10 seasons of being really good. And then just naturally he fell off. But there was a bit of a revival, like I said, in just recently in 2022. Pretty solid, 910 save percentage, and gets the Kings to the playoffs, and they lose a tough 1-7 to the Oilers. But for Quick, this year it was a real struggle in Los Angeles, and he gets traded to Columbus, which was kind of a low blow. And he ends up not playing with Columbus. He gets dealt from I believe it was that he got dealt from the Blue Jackets to Vegas. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Was that he got Yes. He was traded to Vegas by Columbus literally like a day after. So and he actually played a bit for Vegas down the stretch. Vegas had some, injuries with goaltending, and he actually started 9 games, and it was an improvement. It wasn't great, but it was a lot better than he had done with LA. So that's maybe a little bit of a good sign. But look, with Quick, there's a risk there. I guess maybe Louis Domingue is maybe more in play than he had been last year. Domingue, I believe, is still under contract with the Rangers. Yes, he is. He has one more year. I think he was serviceable with the Hartford Wolfpack. Yeah, he was fine. I mean, look, so that's not what you want. Quick will certainly be the guy, but if those struggles do happen, Domingue could get the call. But Jonathan Quick, it'll be interesting, right? Who would have ever thought that Jonathan Quick would end up being the backup goalie to Igor Shesterkin? I mean, right? I mean, like 5 years ago, like would I've ever thought that? No way. But this is probably going to be it for him, right? I mean, I think that Jonathan Quick is looking at his last year or two, right? I mean, maybe if this year goes well, he signs on again, maybe with the Rangers. For him, I'm sure it's meaningful, again, having grown up a Ranger fan and, Mike Richter being his idol. So I understand that. Again, we'll see what the cap hit looks like. I can't really imagine it'll be much more than $1 million. And again, the Rangers are so up against it that, and again, a Halak would have been a good fit. But like I said, I really came to like Jaroslav Halak as a backup. Knew his role. For Jonathan Quick, look, like him being a backup is, and again, I haven't paid much attention with LA. I mean, obviously he knows his role, but this was a starter for years and years. I mean, so is Jaroslav Halak, but it's different. So again, I was skeptical of Halak. That ended up kind of working out just fine. And with Quick, hopefully it's the same sort of thing. But to be fair, I think that Halak was probably a little bit better coming in than Quick is, but also the cap hit is reflective of that, and it should be less than what Halak's was. So that's the change. Could be one of the more significant moves for the Rangers in the near future. I'm not expecting a whole lot on July 1st for the New York Rangers. And again, it's a backup goalie. Igor will get the lion's share of starts. Jaroslav Halak last season started 24 games, and so that's kind of going to be about what it would be for Quick if things go well for him. So Igor obviously is the guy, and Quick is a big name. I mean, obviously this is he's a 3-time Cup winner, but really led the Kings to 2 cups. And I believe did he win the Conn Smythe in 2012? I know he did not in 2014. Let's see, did he win the Conn Smythe in 12? 2012. Yes, he did. He won the Conn Smythe in 2012. So, very accomplished goaltender. That goes without saying. He was the goalie in the 2014 Olympics and performed quite well. Even though, the United States finished in 4th, he was the goalie. Went 3-2 in 5 games. He was just really good. Made the All-Star game in 12, 16, and 18. Again, this is someone that is right. He's probably bound for the Hall of Fame. He's not someone I paid that much attention to being out west, and you try to forget about 2014. But again, I guess just the name of Jonathan Quick being on the Rangers is interesting. Nothing else. I am a little bit skeptical about how he performs, but I do trust Benoit Allaire. One quick note: Libor Hajek was not extended a qualifying offer. Not a huge surprise as far as Hyatt goes, but so ends really the last true link to that awful McDonough-Miller Tampa trade. In terms of that trade tree, I'm sure there's still some stuff technically out there. Obviously there were draft picks that were involved, and also Nils Lundqvist was a draft pick, and then he was traded away, and technically speaking, there is stuff, but really anything that was of significance from that initial deal is now gone. Brett Howden was traded to Vegas, and of course, he wins the cup with them and actually was kind of successful with the Golden Knights. But for Libor Hajek, it did not work out. It seemed like there was some promise initially, but and he made the team the last few seasons out of camp. More out of because they were worried that if they exposed him to waivers, they'd lose him. He actually was put on waivers this season. No one claimed him. He just went down to Hartford and was with them for the remainder of the season. And I guess based on looking at the stats, which don't tell the story, it was okay in Hartford. He really is a tweener. I think he'll get a chance somewhere else. He's still pretty young. He's only 25, but it just did not work out with the Rangers, and so ends that. So the Libor Hajek era ends unceremoniously. It was really not a whole lot to be said there. But again, don't expect a whole lot of news. There might be some minor signings, and so we'll definitely discuss those. If they come to fruition. Barclay Goodrow was not bought out. I know I spoke about that in the Gabriel Perreault video, that there was a chance that maybe that would happen. It did not. So again, I don't know what the plan is. There's not a whole lot that can be done. The Rangers are up against it, and really, I think the big news that we'll hear is the contracts of Keandre Miller and Alexis Lafreniere whenever those do happen. But again, the Rangers are set to sign Jonathan Quick to be the backup goalie.